Howdy folks, it's Jake from Walkie Farm here at the home block at Womargama. Don't have anything new to show you today. Just thought I'd do a little herd check and you can have a look. Some of these calves are just coming along splendidly. Really happy with this year's crop. They're only a couple months old and some of them are almost as big as last year's. Like where's a good example? Look at this black one here. And the one in front of it, look at the size of that. And then these ones here, for instance, these three are from last year. Now, they're not a full year older because we joint the cows basically as soon as they calve. I was trying to change my calving period, but they're, 10 months older, 10, 11 months older. So if I could get him near them, you could see it, but he is. Now, to be fair, that's one of last year's as well. So, it's not the most consistent bunch because some of them are months older than others. But like this calf, which must be almost 3 months old, is bigger than Scoop, who's a year old. Scoop got brought in. I don't know exactly how old she was. She came with her mum summer last year. She was already born then. She was brand new. We've just got a lot better feed on the ground. Hey, he's pretty randy for a steer. Little F3 steer, and he's full of beans. So Kobo's got to, you're not Kobo, your Toxa has to go. 3 years old and finally started ovulating. Not fertile. Look at the gut on Talani. That's her right side, which on a previous video I was talking about how the calf hangs on the right. She's only 6 months, I think I worked out the other day, since that calf was born. 6 or 7 months, so she's still got a bit of time. But Toxa's got to go. This steer's got to go to the meat processor. Sorry, darling, you're going to make some fabulous steaks. So this steer's got to go to my steer finishing block. Who else here has to get moved out? No one. Everyone else is good. These calves, will have to pick these steers out, but that's not till next year. But don't they look great? You know what I realised driving home? I drove into town yesterday and today and passed some pretty well-renowned farms, and I'm certainly not, throwing shade at them. They do what works for them, and that's fine. But their cows here, we've started the 3rd month of spring, and they're still woolly and daggy. And sure, like they're fat, and they've got nice big calves, bigger than mine, like all that stuff, no worries. But they're still woolly. Those black Angus, they've still got those, the fluffy hair on it is a bit red. Allegedly, that's a bit of a copper deficiency. Still got a lot of fluff on them. And I had a neighbour over talking cows the other day. And the couple from next door just kept sort of remarking at how shiny and slick the Nguni are. They're a fine-coated, slick animal. And it feels different. There's a vibrance. There's a underlining. It's signalling health. Look at that heifer there. And Combe, look at her. She is just glowing. Absolutely gorgeous. She is quickly becoming one of my favourite animals in this herd. She was the first calf born last year. Purebred. See that? See how they're licking her urine? Really interesting. So I'm currently... That's really funny. See those lips pulled back? You normally see bulls do that. They're using a gland called the Jacobson, or an organ, sniffing for pheromones and that sort of thing, and hormones. But I've read Nourishment by Fred Provenza. It's a fantastic book if you're in this space, and I'm currently listening to it again. I read it about a year ago. I'm really enjoying it. I really enjoyed it, so I'm listening to it now, and it's beautiful on Audible because Fred actually narrates it himself, and he does extensive nutrition trialing with animals, trying to figure out that innate gift animals have to feel like if you give them free choice minerals, can they supplement deficiencies left to their own accord? And his work says yes, but there is externalities, other factors. But he talks about when you've got cattle and sheep, that are eating each other's manure and urine, there's deficiencies they're trying to fill. And, one's energy, urea. So that was interesting. I do want to get my free choice mineral trailer built. I've been looking around on Facebook for old secondhand beat up trailers. I found a few that are cheap. I just need the cheapest, nastiest thing because it's just going to get beat up and rubbed on by the cattle here, especially the bulls. But I'd really prefer something dual axle so that I can just have it a bit more stable in these hilly paddocks than a single axle thing. So I'm just holding out. I'm not in a big rush. The cows are fine. Look at the fat tail. Look at the wrinkles. Darling. That little red pigment's interesting, isn't it? She's got a few spots on her. Look at that one there. You're bigger than Mum. See? I was just looking at Princess here. This little heifer, she's staring at me straight on. She's getting some really nice condition on her. She's had a bit of a rough start. She's born in a rough season and a bit slow going. Had a calf at 16 months. She's starting to really come along nicely. Hey, big boy. I'll quickly show you down in this riparian area. This is I got a single wire of polybraid here. We keep all the animals out of our dams. We don't let them go into dams to drink. We pump all the water to them. Same water's fine. We just don't let them walk in it and pee and poo in it and then drink it. And it also lets the dams vegetate right up to the bank. And we notice better populations of frogs, better populations of dragonflies, all these insect predators, which are just great to have on the farm. But in here we've got some very different grasses. So we've got some fog grass, which isn't the best feed in the world, but we're happy with it. There's some blackberries coming up, so I'm going to chip them out. I'm going to actually graze this tomorrow. So this riparian area includes 4 ponds. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like American phrases better than Aussie. I'd much rather go down to the pond than go down to the dam. So we fence them all off. But this is a little bit of an experiment. This bottom parcel, which is probably 2,000 metres squared, gets pulse grazed on every rotation. The rest of it might get grazed once a year. And I'm just mucking around with that, seeing how it responds. And so far, it's definitely the most productive, but it's also not really a fair comparison. It's also the lowest lying, so holds the most moisture, etc. But I'm looking forward to putting them in here tomorrow, putting some pressure on them. See these tussocks, these reeds? Well, look, the cows hammer the hell out of it. You can see where they grazed it when they were here a bit over 2 months ago. And some of these are really struggling to come back. Others are coming back. They're slow growing because they're not used to things eating them. This is called a briar rose, and I've got a bunch of them in this riparian area. But you can tell by the shape of that it's really bushed up, and that's because the cows come in here and they eat it. See this? They take these soft tips and you can almost bend it and see there's the sort of the last big prickle. Those other prickles are small and they're green, so that little thorn there is actually very flexible. I don't know if you can see that, if I'm doing a good job filming it. That one there is not woody.
Yeah.
But that one there is. And the cows we'll film this tomorrow and show everyone, but they actually take that off. And then if I keep them in here, I really push them, they'll actually go through and strip most of the leaves off that. Yeah, it's flowering. But what is exciting is down here on our boundary with our neighbour here, there's actually 2 fences, because the fence, that's the original fence, I guess, is a bit average. And the neighbours have just put up another fast fence on the other side, just a 2-strand hot wire, which I don't believe actually even works. It's all tangled up along the way, but seems to do the job. But between these fences, so here's the original, and then can you see that picket there and there? 2-strand hot wire, or 3-strand actually. The middle one's an earth coming through there, 3-strand fence. In between them, we've actually got a heap of phalaris. Look at that. I love this grass. This is a deep-rooted perennial going to seed. Also, we've got to keep an eye on this because when it goes to seed, we're going to come and grab handfuls of it and throw it all over the farm. We've got this on our lease blocks on the river flats. Grows a huge amount of biomass. Oh, Otto, look, there's a chicken wing. From one of our chooks. So it grows a huge amount of biomass. It's got a pretty long growing period, like it grows in the summer more than these annuals. So you get a longer growth window. There's good quality feed. In a really wet, humid summer, it bolts a heap. You get a lot of stalks. It's really stemmy. These stems that have, not as much feed value, but I tell you what, I've kept cows fat as mud all through summer on those stalks. So not too worried about that. So really, you watch when the cows come in here tomorrow, what first thing they're going to do is put their nose right up and get that. We've actually got a few gromming in our paddock now, slowly creeping in, so I'd love to see that sort of action all over the farm.
I'm just picking all the fog grass.
Righto guys, that's where we are today. Everyone's healthy, everyone's happy. The calf in the yards with the heifer is doing pretty well. It's been 5 days now, and she is actually letting the calf feed off her, not having to be in the race or the crush, but she doesn't let her have full feeds. She'll let her have a few suckles, and she won't kick it anymore, but she sort of shuffles around and moves. Look, I just love this. We've got all this grass in here. A lot of it's, we've actually got some rat tail fescue in here, which is some pretty ordinary feed. Look at this. These Nguni, they eat anything. They come in, graze this tussock. There's obviously some great minerals and roughage that they're looking for. I just think that's so exciting.
Oh, this guy, he's doing what
Oh, he's got that sniff going on, does he?
Mm-hmm. I just saw him do it.
Sun's going down, beautiful time of day. Anyway, guys, that's us. Thanks for watching.